Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, my name's Ray. I'm sitting here with Matt, and we are live on Facebook Live. We're going to be talking about Bubba's celebrity basketball game today. As we know, we're still waiting for Bubba Almony and Leon Spacejam Sewell to hop into the room. And no relation to the movie that just came out, Spacejam. However, he has broken 10 backboards in his career.
He still plays basketball, so
I think he played. I think he's kind of in the same league that the Globetrotters.
Okay, because they're more. I don't know the Globetrotters. I'm not that smart when it
he's
comes
with the Harlem Wizards, so I think the Harlem Wizards are kind of like Globetrotters. I'll ask him once he's on live for sure, because I'm not 100%.
So they do like more trick stuff than actual competitive. I guess you would call that.
And he's going to be a part of Bubba's game. So Bubba's game is going to be kicking off and all that. That's going to be August 28th in Snow Hill, Maryland. So if you're local, come on up to Snow Hill. It's probably about 30 minutes shy of Ocean City, Maryland, and come to Bubba's celebrity game. Who's who of celebrities? I know they have a former White House chef. He's going to be, there. Kendra Lust, adult film star Kendra Lust. Everybody knows who she is. Jacoby Jones, Baltimore Ravens. So if you're familiar with the NFL, especially the Baltimore Ravens, you being local.
There's another Raven that's going to be there too. So I can't remember the other Raven.
I'm trying to figure out the Ravens that are going to be there.
But I know Jacoby Jones. Jacoby Jones was in the same team, I think.
He was part of. He carried the Ravens to the Super Bowl.
Right. I was about to say that one year he was actually part of the Super Bowl team. I think, pretty sure actually, yes.
And
so that would have been back in like 2013.
So pretty much what I'm going to do is, while we're waiting for our guests to arrive, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a fun story. It was a wrestling story that I had. I was thinking about this last week, and I don't know why I was thinking about it, but pretty much we wrestled a couple of times for a company called MBA. It was the Maven Bentley Association. And pretty much what would happen is we would go up, we would do these charity shows, and we had a show in Bristol, PA. And we were in a feud. I was the Legion of Ungood. I was Gold Thumb. It was me, Dr. X, Mystery Machine, and we were feuding with someone named Eradication. And so we did this show at a high school. And high schools, I always found, were the easiest shows to work, as high school crowds are very easy to work with. You can do almost anything, to pop them off.
Oh, the crowds.
The crowds. You could do an elbow drop and the crowd would go nuts.
Oh!
So it's the whole thing. If they thought of this idea, they were like, hey, let's have these guys, you're going to represent the softball team and come out with one of the teachers. And, your opponent is going to come out with one of the students and not represent the softball team. So we were supposed to be face. He was supposed to be heel. However, everybody hated the teacher. So since they hated the teacher, what they did is they cheered him and booed us. And I remember there was this one spot that we did that, stood out. I actually put on the cheerleader's outfit. Like, I got him in the corner. He was down in the corner.
It explains a lot. Right?
I put on the cheerleader's outfit, and then pretty much they did the whole pitch. They did the whole pitch, and he pitched the ball, and I hit it. Went first, second, third, and then did a drop kick to the balls. And when I did the drop kick to the balls, I got up, and of course everybody was booing. But that was just a fun little story. Of course, our guests are here, so I'm going to go ahead and admit our guests, and then we're going to rock and roll with our guests. So Bubba Almony is coming on now, and Spacejam, Leon Spacejam Sewell joining us in a second. So Bubba's coming in first, and I believe Leon will be here as well. That should be Leon right there. It says iPhone right there. So I think Leon's coming in via that. And we're going to go ahead and rock and roll. Bubba, you there, man? Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yes.
How are you? How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
Good. So we started off a little bit. I was just telling a fun wrestling story. Do you want to tell everybody about your celebrity basketball game that's coming up in 27 days from now? So probably about 3 hours from now, our time, you're going to be starting your first ever Bubba's celebrity basketball game. And of course, Leon Spacejam Sewell, he's joining us live as well. How you doing, brother?
All right, man. How are y'all?
Good. So Bubba, just lay it out. How's it working with the game? We saw online that you have a helicopter that's going to be coming. That's insane.
Oh yeah. So on Saturday, August 28th, as you mentioned, it'll be my first annual Bubba's celebrity charity basketball game to benefit and bring awareness to cancer, bullying prevention, and mental health. As you guys know, I'm a big advocate on bullying, and bullying and mental health. They can coincide. They can tie right in with one another. It'll be in Snow Hill, Maryland, at the Worcester County Recreation Center. It's a beautiful state-of-the-art facility. I think it's 47,000 square foot in a controlled inside, beautiful facility. We'll have Spacejam there. Myself, you guys will be there. The Happy Hour podcast. Kendra Lust, so many big names. Jacoby Jones from the Baltimore Ravens. He's a Super Bowl champion. Muhammad Ali's former wife, Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, and the mother of his 4 children. Muhammad Ali Jr., the only biological son of Muhammad Ali. And the list just goes on and on. Real famous Harlem Globetrotters, Jonte Hall, and just, like I said, goes on and on. Fan Fest starts at 12 p.m. and tip-off is at 5 p.m. And tickets can be purchased at my official website, BubbaAlmony.com. It's BUBBAALMONY.com. It's more than a celebrity game, benefiting charity, but it's a call of everybody coming together, speaking out on bullying, to know that there's people out here that care about you, that want to see you better off with your problems that you're facing, and to give you different outlets of help where you can, whether it's advice, experiences, different, organizations that can help you in the community. So that's what we're doing. And, just look forward to seeing everybody out there.
And, it's amazing how it's going to be. And of course, Leon, you're going to be a part of everything as well. And you're part of the Harlem Wizards. How did you get it? Of course, you do all kinds of dunks. You've broken numerous backboards, man. How have you been, doing all that? And we were trying to think beforehand. Are you guys pretty much in the same division as the Globetrotters? Are you guys similar to the Globetrotters? What's the difference? With that?
Okay, to break it down with I've been a part of the Harlem Wizards for 10 years now.
Okay.
We're very similar to the Harlem Globetrotters. We're like the second longest showcase basketball team in existence. Been doing it over 60 something years, 60 plus years. Traveling around doing fundraisers for different organizations. We do the tricks, we do the half-court shots, the high-fly slam dunks, all that wonderful stuff. So when we come into communities, it's all about bringing the community together, having a good time, and raising money for a good cause. So that's the main thing about the Harlem Wizards.
Now you
can go ahead. Did you ask me how did I get involved with it?
Yes. How did you get involved? Like, were you ever around the point where you were getting ready to go into the NBA, and then the Harlem Wizards came up, and you were like, "Hey, I'd rather do this. This is a little bit more fun." How did all that come about?
Okay, I'm gonna give you the whole little quick breakdown. Okay, after I graduated college, Beth University in McKenzie, Tennessee. My senior year, I broke my foot twice.
Oh,
my metatarsal bone, and I was actually gonna go overseas and play in Turkey, but because of my injury, I had to wait, and then they chose somebody else. So during that period of time, after I got healthy, I just decided to go into show basketball. So during the show basketball thing, I toured with the Harlem Ambassadors. The Harlem Ambassadors see me, and then the Harlem Wizards see me playing with the Harlem Ambassadors. They gave me a better contract to come play with them. And I was just rocking out with them, traveling around the world, going to China, all types of countries.
Oh, wow.
Just seeing the world, man. And that's kind of my story, man. In between that, I almost signed in G League, but I was just making a little bit more money where I was here. So I decided to stay with this. And I wish I would have took that chance in the G League, though. You know what I mean? but I just ended up staying in show basketball, man. Yeah, I love it. I just love it.
How was it playing in China? Because I know there's pro wrestling. It's weird because when you go and do a show in China or Japan, the crowd's just completely silent. And then once you get your sequence, some moves, they all at the same time just start clapping. Meanwhile, it's a lot different. People are just you hear.
So they love us Americans. I'll tell you that. To tell you the truth, they can't deny that. All right. So like before we go, we usually have translators that travel with us. And we pick up on a couple of little funny little sayings and translate the jokes and stuff. So we learned a little Chinese as well during our tours. I've been over there 9 times. I know a few Chinese words, that can put some smiles on people's faces and stuff like that. But once we get to going, jumping, dunking, like basketball is just a body language type of sport. So they can automatically just feel it, and we just go from there and we rock the crowd, man. I can't wait to go back.
And how did you get the Space Jam moniker? Because everybody knows the movies Space Jam. Space Jam 2 just came out. How did you get the Space Jam moniker?
I got it tatted on me, man.
Explains a lot.
It's real when it's tatted on you. It's real. It's real. So, when I first started show basketball, of course, everybody loved Michael Jordan, the first original Space Jam.
Yeah.
That was like who everybody wanted to be growing up, especially during my time. I was born in '85, so like when I first started playing basketball, it was just like when I jump, it's like I'm coming out of space and I'm just jamming it. I'm just dunking it as hard as possible. I'm trying to break the backboard every time I dunk, and that's how I became the Space Jam in real life. So
good.
Check my videos. You tell me do it fit me or not.
And how many backboards have you broken so far in total?
All right, so I can count 10. Somebody said maybe 11 or 12, but I only counted 10. So I got double figures. I'm trying to catch Shaq.
Is it the backboards? Were they the regular traditional, like how the NBA has, like the glass backboards, or were they like the hard plastic backboards?
It was like those hard backboards. Like a couple of them was like type NBA built, but the glass just couldn't hold. But most of them are like those high school gyms. It's just like it just can't withhold my power. I'll just tell you that. So high school gyms are made for those small young high school kids and not a grown man like me.
So how much trouble did you get in for breaking those backboards? Or just like, shit, don't do it, don't. Oh shit.
Let me tell you one thing, okay? The owner of our team, the Harlem Wizards, wasn't very happy every time he heard me breaking backboards. So our insurance policy increased tremendously. I'll just tell you that. That's all I can tell you, all right?
They have a section of the insurance policy. It's just called Space Jam. That's what it is. It's Space Jam coverage.
A special deductible when Space Jam breaks it. It's a deductible.
And Bubba, we're gonna switch over to you real quick. Of course, your celebrity basketball game, and this is something me and you had to talk on the phone. Probably about a week or so ago. Of course, you have Kendra lost when you're in the game she's playing, and it's crazy because a couple of weeks ago we had sent the shirt up to Sarah J, and Sarah J posted that, and everything went into the stratosphere. Like, it's crazy. We're still getting stuff today from her making that post. And we had a little bit of a talk that, it's crazy how people react, to certain things. People were like, oh, well, they're an adult film star, blah, blah. It's like, well, here's the thing. They're still people. They're still people. They're still interesting people with an interesting background. But also, I've come to learn, especially with being in the wrestling business as long as I have, doing the TV show that I did, is that sex still sells. That's the thing. So people know their names, and that's the whole thing. Well, how has it worked out with you? I know you had a little bit of backlash with Kendra for certain stuff, or working with some of the adult film stars you have. What's your background with that?
Oh yeah, so my take on it is, at the end of the day, like you said, everybody's human. We all have skeletons in the closet. We all make mistakes. We all sin differently. If you judge somebody based upon their job, what does that say about you? You got to take a step back and look in the mirror and say, hey, if you're just choosing to exclude that person because of a choice of job or what makes them happy or what pays their bills, Rick Ross said it, never knock another person's hustle. We all have different trades, different hustles, different careers, professions, jobs. Hey, if it's something that's legal and they're doing it, it's consensual, I have no problem with it. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I'm not nobody to judge. And, when you are an advocate for bullying, a true advocate is an advocate for everybody, whether you're adult entertainment, whether you're a basketball player, whether you're a bodyguard, whatever it is, I need to stand up for everybody. I need to stand up for people that are in prison, for the military, for police brutality. You got to speak up on every situation that you see when you see wrong. And, I don't pick and choose who I help. I try to be a voice, a platform, a positive influence for everybody that I can, everybody that I come in contact with.
Yeah. And I wanted to bring this up last week, but Matt wasn't here. And this is definitely wanted to bring up while Matt was here with me. He was off last week.
Oh God.
With that post with Sarah J, of course, with Twitter, Facebook, and all that, you never know what's going to happen when someone posts something. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking on Twitter, and someone commented, and they commented on the photo, and I guess they were commenting the Sarah J, but we were tagged also. They commented with just an image of their dick. And that was it. And I looked, I'm like, oh God, I'm like, dear Lord. Like, and I hit the post, and I sat there and I thought to myself, should I have just rated him? Like, that's the thing. Like should I have just sat there and went, like, did a GIF image that said 10 out of 10 or 1 out of 10 or something like that, to just kind of be like, hey, I mean, if you're putting it there, I'm just going to go ahead and rate you. And I mean, and that's, it's like, you know, I don't understand.
The crocodile. You call that a knife?
You call that a knife? This is a knife. And I don't understand what people think with doing stuff like that, because you know, I can't even imagine Kendra Lost, Sarah J, all those adult film stars that just have random people sending them photos like that. It's like, they do this for a living. They say that for a living. That's almost like someone sitting there saying, Space Jam, a video of people playing basketball, and it's like Space Jam has seen all this. Like,
yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. So,
and
some comments you just got to learn how to just ignore it. Some comments it's okay to, you know, reply back to.
Yeah.
It's a sticky business with this social media stuff, man. So I can tell you, man.
Have you had any weird experiences, not only online, but you know, meeting somebody in general? Have you had any awkward experiences wherever?
Of course. You know, not to pinpoint nobody or anything, but you know, you run into some weird people, man. You run into some racist people. You run into like numerous amounts of stuff, especially when you traveling on a daily basis, meeting new people, and you got a crowd full of over 1,000 people here and there, and people are gonna run up. They're gonna say stuff. People are going to look at you weird. And it's just all about how professional you are to be able to balance yourself and deal with that situation, you know, and try to be the bigger person. You know what I mean? You don't want to come off as you're scared, but you don't want to come off as pushy and bully too. You know, you just have to learn how to mediate the situation and calm things down and just move on about your day, because people are going to say things that whatever comes to their mind. That's just the way some people are.
Oh yeah, and that's the way it is. There's no filter, especially being in the wrestling community. Like, wrestling fans will say whatever they want. Like, I saw a post, somebody was talking about, it was Mike Bennett and his wife. You know, they left WWE and they always trash them. And Mike and Maria Kanellis. And you know, people were pretty much like, oh, well, we you know, you guys had crack babies, because he had issues in WWE, sent them to rehab, and you know, we hope your kids die and stuff. And it's like,
wow.
Where it's like, what in the actual hell is wrong with people? They're like wishing death, or like if someone, you know, if someone votes a certain way, or if someone says something a different way, or someone, you know, you're just mad at someone for something in general. You like, oh, well, I'm going to come kill your kids. And it's just kind of like, you know, you may not ever do it, but still, it's like, why would you comment that on Facebook?
Right.
Social media is real.
You know,
it's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's such a cesspool.
Really?
It's insane. Yeah, okay. Like, you know, I don't know how often I get into people in the wrestling community, because they say one thing. Like, the big thing is AEW. AEW is signing a lot of guys right now. They're bringing in CM Punk. They're bringing in Daniel Bryan. And I'm like, well, see, here's the thing. AEW.
Someone else now.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt probably. He's probably going to end up over there. But I'm looking at it as,
they didn't officially yet.
Well, business-wise, they're making a lot of WCW level mistakes. Tony Khan, yes, they may have a lot of money, but eventually this is going to boil down to, if they're not profiting, how long is this going to go on? They're thinking of the here and now. They're not thinking like the way Vince does and looks at it. Okay, well, what's going to benefit me in 5 years from now? You know, and people are getting mad at me about it. Oh, well, they're so good. They're so good. I'm like, that I'm looking at it from a business. And Space Jam, you know, the whole thing is, you know, the business aspect. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The whole thing. It's like, you need to be able to sell tickets. You need to be able to draw. You know, Bubba's seeing all that now of, you know, being able to get it out there. You know, we know what the podcast, being able to just promote something and get it out there and get eyes on the product, because if you can't sell it, then it's not going to go very far. You know, and Bubba, how is everything going with sales and all that for the 28th? Is everything rolling along?
Oh yeah, it's going real good. And you know, like you said, it's all about, you got to understand in life. People have to understand that everything is through people. You know, everything happens by for, through, and with people. And you have to have people skills in life. If you have people skills, you can sell a service, you can sell a product, you can have people come to your event. And, you know, it's more than just marketing yourself online and advertising online. You got to get out, meet the people. Sometimes, you know, even though social media is a vast majority of people in there, not everybody's on social media, or not everybody has a chance to check it every day. So you have to, you know, whether it's billboards, media, press, you gotta get yourself out there. You got to get whatever you're promoting out there, and everything is going great. We expect a huge turnout, at least over 1,000 and at most 2,000 people for this event. So it's going to be a big blessing for the community.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on the show. Let's go.
And
I'm ready.
we have Team Lust and Team Bubba. So, Leon, do you know, where do you fall in the helm of all this? Are you on Team Lust or are you on Team Bubba? Are you on right now live with a rival, or are you on live right now with a teammate?
I would think that I would be on Team Bubble, but I wouldn't mind being on Team Less. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's the thing. Like, I don't mind being on Team Lust, and I was thinking about this. Like, you know, you play with basketballs, you grip basketballs a certain way, and I'm like, you know, some of those porn stars, you know, you can just grab like a basketball, and it's just kind of like, hey, you know, this is I don't know how this works. Yeah.
All right here, baby. All right. But I really don't know what team I'm on, but Bubba got to tell me. But either way, we're going to go out there and have a great time, man. Put on a good show, man. It's all about the fans, you know, and just having a good time. Networking, that's another major part, you know. So, yeah, I hope everybody got their tickets and just come out and have a good time, man. But whatever team I'm on, we're going to win. I can tell you that.
Now, Bubba, did you get the liability insurance in case Spacejam decides he wants to break a backboard?
Oh, yeah, we got insurance, so, you know, we hope he doesn't, but if he does, hey, we're all right.
And I hope you got an extra backboard just in case. We have placed backboards in the middle of shows before.
Yeah. We're gonna have to bring out the Fisher Price hoop.
Now, have you ever had that Spacejam where you broke a backboard and they didn't have a spare, so they were just kind of like, we don't know what to do right now?
Yes. So we just had to end up playing the rest of the game in half court. So and it gets a little weird when it just turns into a half court game, but hopefully we won't have that problem, man. We won't have that problem.
You know, we've had shows where, you know, and of course I come from pro wrestling where you have a rope break, and you know, most independent shows like WWE at rope breaks, they get someone out almost instantly, replace the rope. Independence, you don't have that. That rope breaks. It's like, all right, move that bitch to the bottom, move the other one to the top, and work in that ring with broken ropes. I've worked in a ring with broken ropes, and you can't.
Oh my God.
It changes you mentality, psychologically, because you need to know what you're doing while you're in the ring, and it messes up because they don't know how to evolve with calling on the fly, and it's like,
I still think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like going at it
you know.
naturally, like, and you just throw them out of the ring. You're like,
yeah. You don't even need to throw them high to get them over the top rope. The ropes are just drooping so much. You just kind of like, see you later.
I've always wondered that too in matches where, like in like WWE and all that, when they break through the stage.
Oh yeah,
like
me too.
Go on after that, like I mean, if there's another match of that, the fucking thing is the ring is fucked.
They gimmick it
right.
So pretty much before that match, they know the ring's already gimmicked. They gimmick it before, you know, the show, and they go, just don't bump in this part of the ring. Like if anybody knows who the British Bulldog is,
don't slam him over here.
Yes.
Well, the British Bulldog, WWE Hall of Famer. Pretty much, there was a story going around that there was a show where Sting was supposed to come up through a trap door, and WCW, they didn't inform everybody that the trap door was there. So Bulldog ended up being slammed, and he got slammed on the metal hinge part of the trap door, and that was part that messed his back up, that led to a lot of his, you know, prescription drug, you know, problems or whatever. You know, he already had, you know, issues with that, but you know, it's crazy that stuff like that happens. And Leon, have you
that's live performances, man. That's what happens, man.
You're live. That's the thing. Anything can happen when you're live, and that's the thing. You know, you got to know how to roll through and journey through. And because Matt never did anything like this before we did the podcast. I'm like, dude, live is a whole different element. You know, when we go through and edit this down to air next week, you know, we can cut through whatever, but when we're live, you know, we need to know how to navigate through when we're live. And with that, has there ever been any situations live to where something has just gone wrong, aside from bringing a backboard? And also, what kind of, have you sustained any kind of injuries, to kind of, play that you do?
So yes, I have numerous stories. Like I said, I've been doing this 10 years, and we almost play almost every day for 9 months. So we got a lot of like hiccups in the middle of a live show, right? So this one story, one of my teammates, quick story, was playing basketball. Some of the guys on the other team, they was like trying to go back to their glory years in high school, right? Like trying to play hard, like, oh, we're gonna beat y'all, and stuff, right? So one of my teammates, he was running behind one, and the guy actually jumped backwards and tried to get an and win 3, and my teammate's teeth got stuck in back of this guy's head.
Like stuck, like they had to like remove.
Stuck, like he's out for the rest of the week. He's going to the dentist right now. The guy, his head is leaking blood. His tooth is still in the back of his head, and we have to still roll on with the show. Without our main point guard that can dribble, that sets up all the plays and stuff. So that's just one story that I can just tell you right now. So you can just imagine what the rest of them are. People get sick before games. And you already have a whole layout of what we're gonna do that day, and everything changes. I did an assembly at a school one day. I jumped up, I broke the backboard backwards. It was the beginning of 3 assemblies. All right, it was the first assembly. Yeah. So guess what? I'm leaking, I'm bleeding, I'm going to the hospital. They had to call one of my other teammates 45 minutes away. He had to drive, wake up out of his bed and drive and finish my performances that I'm supposed to do. So it's just so many, man. So many stories.
It's like the backboard's broken and there's 2 more assemblies. So at that point, you just have like a little child just going. It's like, hold this backboard. So you just shoot into the backboard. It's very easy. Like, this is the way the rest of this assembly is going to go. And with the guy, I guess his teeth were stuck in the back of his head. Like, could you imagine people roll into the hospital and you roll in and a man is literally physically teeth stuck in head and they have to get them unattached. Like, they've seen some shit.
It was crazy, bro. I couldn't believe it, man. I just couldn't believe it. And vehicle problems on the way to shows, tires pop, and we driving trailers. One of our trailer tires was literally bouncing on the other side of the highway. We thought it was gonna kill somebody, but it didn't. Thank God. It's just numerous stuff happens when you just out here on tour and you're live, man.
You're like, I learned with pro wrestling is that people don't give a shit how hurt you are or how sick you feel. The thing is it's like, are you hurt or are you injured? Because if you're hurt, you're taking your ass out there and you're wrestling. Because people are paying to see you, regardless of however it works. Like, your stomach could hurt, whatever. You got to suck that up. There, you hear numerous stories of guys like Steve Austin who went out there with the flu and wrestled a 35-minute clinic with The Rock, sick as hell. Wow. Almost shitting his pants. Just because that's the way it works. And it's just it's insane. And too, just the athletic ability and being able to do that. And, going out, a lot of times your adrenaline gets going and then it kind of goes away.
It goes away.
Yep. You walk in the back and you just throw up all over the floor because your adrenaline goes away. You're just kind of like,
Yeah. So another quick story that reminds me. We went to a restaurant out in Colorado somewhere before a game. The whole team ended up with diarrhea. We got food poison. People running out of the show to go use the bathroom. Like, power real quick. I'll be right back. It was crazy, bro. The whole team, and I was like the only one that was like halfway in and out. And I had to go out there, and you got to jump hard, so you got to squeeze some muscle, like, and if you do that, you might just wet your pants or something, So
you just hit the hoop, and you just see it just come out of the bottom leg of the shorts, and it's just like, what is
bad that? Shit your ass out everywhere. Oh my God! But it happened, man. It happened. We got food poisoning for a game, and everybody got sick one time, man. It was bad. That's all I can remember, man.
Oh man! And what we're going to do real quick is for those of you listening on all of our major podcast platforms, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break real quick. We're going to get in a song, play some of our sponsors, and we will be right back. For those of you joining us live, we're going to keep rolling along. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, I'm Ray. Matt's with me this week. We are live with Bubba Almony and Leon Spacejam Sewell. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into our beer of the week. So our beer of the week this week,
just a regular beer.
Yeah, just a regular beer. It's called regular beer. And
regular beer. I've never seen that a day in my life.
By Duke Law Brewing Company. Yes. And it says a beer that tastes like a beer. So, and it definitely tastes like a beer. So shout out to Duke Law Brewing Company, regular beer. Go out and get it. You know, it tastes a little bit like what you said, Bud Light, something like that. Just a regular, what you would expect a regular beer to taste like. And so now something a little bit more flavorful. Here you go, Matt. What we're going to do is we're going to get into our featured shot, which is Deep Eddy's Orange Vodka. So we always go way down deep in Eddy. And of course, you know, as we were just talking about before we went to break, the whole diarrhea stuff, that's coming from deep down. So
for real, deep.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't get diarrhea from this.
Yeah. I want to be good because it's Sunday and we need to work tomorrow. So here we go. So that's going to be that. This may be the end of Deep Eddy. And what we're going to do is a lot of our featured shots were the shot of the month. However, I now have so much liquor in my freezer that we're going to go back to some of those shots and finish them off. We're going to actually do them until they run out. And that way, if anybody sends us product, we can feature it for a couple of weeks straight. So here we go, Matt. Shout out to Deep Eddy's Orange. They've been our featured shot for a good while. We'll finish this off today, and then we will have something else next week. Oh, man.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
And what we're going to do now is we're going to get into our game segment. Bubba, you know what this is all about. You are one of few people. You're actually the second person to appear on the show 3 times. You and former WCW superstar Bob Starr are the only people that have appeared 3 times on this program. So what we're going to do is, Leon, we're going to start off with a game called 5-second rule. So what we're
5 seconds.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to name off a category, and you have 5 seconds to give us 3 answers. And if you can't get it, it'll go to Bubba, then it'll go to Matt, then it'll go to me. If we don't get it, it's just a dead round. So, Matt, you want to read it off? I'll take control of the little timer.
Okay, so you have to name 3 ways to make a good impression.
Want me to go now?
Either way,
we'll
restart.
So three ways to make a good first impression, starting now.
Dress clean, smell good, be on time.
There you go. That's it. That's it. He got it. So, all right. So that was a little bit of an easier one. So now what we're going to do is we are going to get into a game called Incoherent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin our screen, and pretty much Leon, and I think Bubba knows how this works. He's played this game before. Leon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold a card up. Can you see that okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty much that's it.
Bro-key-monko.
Yeah, that's in
Bro-key-monko.
There's 2 hints on the back. If you can't figure out what it says, I can give you some of the hints.
Bro-key-monko. I'm clueless right now. I'm clueless.
Would you like a hint?
Yes, I would love a hint.
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Donkey Kong? I don't know.
All right, and this is the number 1 cause of fatal traffic accidents in 2016.
Is that for real? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I'm still clueless right now. I don't have a clue.
Do you have any idea, Bubba?
No.
No. It is Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go. So, and of course, you know, you look at it, it's like Pikachu. Pikachu is a part of Pokemon. And then also, you know, Pokemon, there were so many people that fell off the side of cliffs and ledges and traffic accidents just playing that game because you play the game, you know, while you're on the road. And then, Leon, have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
No, I have not.
All right, you are in for a treat. This is a very vile game. So what we're going to do is we're going to read you off the face card. The face card.
Okay.
We're going to read that off, and we're going to give you 4 options. and you're going to tell us which
Okay.
one you think answers the face card the best. You want to go ahead and hit it off, Matt?
Yep. So it says, you city folk would never understand the quiet dignity of blank. And your answers are Travolta, Canada's worst mangoes.
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 That's mangoes.
Mangoes. Sorry. Okay. Foul vegan shits or cheating in the Special Olympics.
Cheating in a Special Olympics.
All right. So Leon says, you city folk would never understand the quiet dignity of cheating in the Special Olympics. And
That sounds like some down South Alabama stuff, I'm telling you.
what would you say, Bubba? What would you think the answer would be for that?
I think the same one. It sounds
Same
like
one?
something
Same
from
one?
down south.
Yeah, I'd go with that one too.
For some reason, I don't know. I'm weird. I kind of like, never understand the quiet dignity of Canada's worst mangoes. Like, I don't know. It's like just, like, it's just something about Matt's like, you idiot. Because I think Matt's probably on the same page with you guys.
Cheating in the Special Olympics. I mean, that's
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing that we're approaching now. Now, Bubba, what all? I guess you have your teams laid out. The helicopter. The helicopter, is it just going to be there to see, or the team's going to load up on the helicopter? And that helicopter is going to land, and it's going to be like a movie scene. Like everything's just blowing around. Everybody's outside. Children are just being whipped away by the air, and the helicopter just lands. And then it's kind of like Spacejam. Like the carpet just rolls out, and the team smoke comes out from the helicopter, and people just roll out and just walk into
I
the
got
stadium.
it.
Yeah.
Leon is going to jump out of the
Yes,
helicopter.
I'm jumping out of the helicopter.
Yeah. They're gonna put hoops on the helicopter, and it's gonna be going around. And he's gonna hit the hoop, and it's gonna break the propellers off of the helicopter.
I don't know. I think you need a different type of.
I don't have that type of money to fix a helicopter, guy.
You're sure it's gonna be like, I don't know that one.
Bubba's gonna be like, oh god damn it, I broke the helicopter. Now, Bubba, what's up with the helicopter? What can everybody expect out of the helicopter that you're gonna have over at the event?
Yeah. So what it's going to be is an Army National Guard Black Hawk helicopter. They'll land. They'll actually fly it into the outside area where we have at the event, where we'll have Fan Fest. They'll land it, and it will be a static display. Everybody can come over, check it out, things of that nature. So it's going to be just, that's just such a special and unique opportunity. The National Guard is involved with this event. Other branches of the military are coming out. So it's like I said, I want, not just a few people out. I want to involve every ingress and egress of the community, of our state, of our county. That's really how you get that true impact. Politicians, leaders, young kids, youth, parents, you got to have everybody involved. And that's how you make that impact, and that, the measure, you couldn't even measure the impact that this event is going to have. It's going to be so impactful. And I'm so grateful for all the celebrities that committed to play for a great cause. And it helps us, it adds influence, it adds, platforms, it adds people that these kids look up to and that they can really appreciate, because especially coming out of COVID, kids needed something like this in this community.
Now, are you worried any? And of course, we're hearing a lot about the Delta Airlines version of COVID-19. Are you worried anything about the Delta variant maybe hindering it a little bit in the next couple of weeks? Because I know that's starting to pick up. It doesn't sound like Governor Larry Hogan is going to, change any of the rules or anything, because, we all know everybody in some way, shape, or form has lost during COVID-19, whether it's been lives or money or their business or whatever. I don't think, Larry Hogan wants any more of that to happen to Maryland, especially up near the Ocean City area and Snow Hill, all that. That's very
right.
time of year.
Oh, yes. So what we've done is, even if, like you said, even if the governor doesn't mandate or order some things, we're going to be cautious. When people come into that facility after Fan Fest, when we're inside, we're going to have temperature checks. We're going to have the facility being clean, the high frequent touch zones being cleaned professionally. We're going to have a lot of hand sanitizer stations. We're going to, not mandate, but we'll ask people if they could, wear a mask that are the part of the fans. So we're going to, play cautious, and, obviously we want to respect our players' health. We want to respect our fans' health. Everybody coming out, we want to respect their health, and, just make this as safe and healthy as an environment as we can.
And, keep in mind, too, that if nobody wants to comply, you do have that military helicopter. And that's very armed and very secure. So you can just be like, hey, look, this guy's not listening. They can be like, and then, that's it. Everybody's just safe at that point.
Right.
Of course, Bubba, you also have tip-off for the game is at 5 p.m. And, of course, you also have the Fan Fest, which I'm a little bit intrigued about the Fan Fest. How's the Fan Fest going to work with that? I guess that's just a signing. Is there any specific way you're going to doing it? Because I know every signing is a little bit different on how they do it. Is everybody going to be out at one time? Is there going to be certain times for certain people?
So with Fan Fest, it's going to be it's basically like a mix between Fan Fest and a tailgate opportunity. We're also going to address the media and our press at that time. We're going to have some keynote speakers.
Okay.
And it's going to be an opportunity, as you mentioned, for fans to interact with players. I know the Ali family will be signing and taking pictures and different things of that nature. Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali will also be speaking as a keynote speaker about, bullying and the importance of your faith in life and things of that nature. And what better name, what better family to speak on those things than the Ali family, the most, I would say, the most respected legacy to ever live when it comes to not just sports, but when it comes to activism and philanthropy. And, the Ali family was all about change. It was all about equality, all about human rights and being free in your decision making. Let's remember that Muhammad Ali was put in prison just because he chose not to serve in the military and kill innocent people. So, and then, he was revoked of his boxing rights and his licenses, and then finally got it all back. And, just the absolute, pinnacle of fighting, just his biggest fights were won outside the ring. And so just looking forward to that. And, it's going to be, this event is going to be unlike any other of its kind. It's really going to be a true interactive event. It's a call of coming together. We're going to raise proceeds. We're going to raise awareness, and it's going to be just a time to remember. I encourage everybody to come out. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, get them now at BubbaAlmony.com. And it's like I said, it's going to be a blessing. This event is going to go down in history. I say that respectfully, and I know everybody involved is ready to make that big impact and really create true change.
And with the Fan Fest, is the Fan Fest free to whoever comes out, or are there charges for the autographs and the photos that go towards the charities, or how's that going to work?
So if you got any ticket to the game, whether it's a general admission or VIP, everybody comes to Fan Fest that has a ticket. So all ticket holders come to Fan Fest, and VIP ticket holders, they will have opportunities for select players to get autographs and take pictures. I'll leave that up to the players. They're already playing for a good cause, so if they're willing to take pictures and sign, that's up to the players on that decision. But that's
I'm willing. I'm definitely willing.
Thank you. And so like I said, it's gonna be a big blessing. It's sometimes, and maybe Leon could attest to this as well, it's sometimes those small communities over a city like Miami or Vegas, those small communities, sometimes they really gravitate to events like this, and they need it. They really need it because they're on the back burner to the other big cities that get the events. So it means so much more when people with influence and VIPs and celebrities come to this area, and for a great cause, most importantly.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, and everybody's clamoring to do stuff because, even throughout the summer with COVID, kind of dwindling down and restrictions being lifted, I still haven't been able to go out and do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do just because you're so used to that lifestyle, and also not a lot of things are firing back up. Like concerts are full steam ahead. So I'm sure the crowd's going to be super hot that day. And, that's going to help out more because I learned from being in wrestling that the more hot the crowd is, the more eager you are to perform, to please them.
Right.
You get caught up in that moment. There's nothing, and Leon knows this 100%. There's nothing performing in front of a live crowd, you know, and that's why we do the Facebook Live stuff. We want people to be able, you know, not only, you know, are we talking to cool, you know, people, but we want our fans to be able, you know, to come on live a week early and talk to people on Facebook Live. You know, we're starting to do events now. So for those of you tuning in live and for those of you listening, what we're going to do is we're going to start releasing Facebook events every week to remind you, because once you have a Facebook event, it will remind you when that event is coming up. So if there's any specific guests you have, we're booked for the rest of this year. The rest of this year is done with guests. So thank you to everybody out there who's contributing to the show, because being booked every week for the rest of the year is a huge thing. You know, where if anybody still wants to be on the show, reach out to us. We can't get you booked until 2022. You know, we don't get paid for this. We don't have a sponsor. You know, we don't have any of that production type stuff. It's me doing everything. And, you know, Matt, thankfully,
I just show up and I get drunk.
yeah. So
and I talk to awesome people.
That's the whole thing. So thank you everybody on that. Make sure you get out and pick up our new T-shirt also, which our T-shirt was inspired by our episode with Kimberhaven, which has a wrestler with a raptor in a headlock with fireworks going off in the background. It's one of our first premium designs, which Steve Freeman, who does all of our graphic work, he does a great job. You know, shout out to him if you ever need anything done. He literally does book covers for all.
Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
And it's insane. And of course, Leon, where can everybody find you if they're looking for you online, or you know, where can they find your stuff?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram at HW Spacejam 23. They can check out my YouTube channel, Leon Sewell 23. That's Leon LeonCwell 23, and my Yahoo, Leon Spacejam Sewell on Facebook as well. You can find me there. You know, and you can also find me at Bubba's Celebrity Basketball Game. That's where you really want to find me at.
And Bubba, and of course, you know, we're live, and of course, you know, if you're cool with talking about this, we can. We have been kind of discussing a little bit of something, kind of like you know, after the basketball game type thing. You know, kind of in the background about stuff of, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, you did the celebrity basketball game. Would there be any chance that you would be interested in keeping that same theme and doing it as a wrestling show? Because at that point, you know, not only, you know, are you doing that, you know, if you can incorporate softball, you know, football, you know, along with the basketball game, and then throw in pro wrestling, you know, it's the whole thing that you have all these different elements coming in, and, you know, it would be unique, kind of like, you know, you think of WrestleMania, because WrestleMania, you have all these celebrities come in, but everything works out a whole different way. At that point, it's just not a wrestling show. It's, you know, it's a spectacle, because you're figuring out ways of trying to get, you know, these celebrities incorporated into the show as well, without, you know, in a non-wrestling capacity. So, you know, of course, we've discussed a little bit about that. And, you know, is that your main goal, trying to just, you know, get these charity events, you know, going for every kind of sport, you know, or entertainment venue that you possibly can, to, you know, just bring money back to that, you know, community?
You know, like, it's something, you know, like, you know, you see it happen in all these different events. Like you said, softball, people have softball charity games. They have football, flag football, all these different things. And so it's definitely something we're looking at, you know, different ones, moving to different cities, you know, still under the Bubba Celebrity Game name. And, you know, just we hope that these players enjoy it so much that they come out to our next event. And like you said, we're looking at it's a possibility of who knows, you know, a wrestling event. That would be crazy. You know, obviously there's a lot of things that go into that. A lot of obviously safety precautions and different things and insurance, but that's something that we are. I love the idea when I heard it, and it's something that we would strongly consider.
And of course, if that happens, Bubba, you know, I don't really wrestle much myself anymore, but 100%, Ray Chase doesn't exist for that show anymore. You're going to get Chase Rawlings, who will come out of retirement, that will do that show for you if that ends up happening. And also, if you end up doing the softball thing, I would 100% be willing to do that, because I played baseball like a bandit when I was a kid. And
I'm more of a football guy. I'm more of a football guy. I want to football. This whole thing is awesome idea. This is what you call thinking outside of the box, people. Okay, this is thinking outside the box, expanding your product. Okay, that's what this is right now. I love it. I love it.
And of course, you know, it's great because, you know, each one you can bring in different celebrities and all that. And, it's even the kind of thing that even with Spacejam, it's like, you do a wrestling show, you can find something to where, pro wrestling has always been pro wrestling, and you've always been an entertainment standpoint to where even if Spacejam is near a ring, you can still somehow have him do one of his dunks with a wrestling type environment type thing. Like it could be the kind of thing that, someone could be like, okay, well, if Spacejam makes this shot, then this match will be no disqualification or something like that. And then Spacejam goes, boom, makes the shot, bad guy's mad, no disqualification for the match, and softball, if you did softball, I guess, or a football, would you try to do like more of a local type, stadium with that? Like, I guess like maybe like an Aberdeen Ironbird stadium or like a small local football stadium. How would, what would you be looking at for something like that?
With softball?
Yeah, with softball or with if you did like flag football.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it would be crazy to get like a minor league affiliate of maybe the Orioles, like Delmarva Shorebird Stadium, or like even going to Camden Yards, or just you gotta think big. You gotta always set that bar high. Like you just never know what could come about. Like Leon said, it's all about networking. You got the right connection, you got the right contact somewhere. Anything can happen. So. That would be awesome though, and I would love to do a softball game too. Softball is pretty fun, and I'm with Leon too. Football would be great too. So
and with the celebrity basketball game, do you guys the uniforms? What do uniforms look like? I meant to ask that earlier. What, like, I guess, are they going to be a certain color but reverse from each other? One team wears, let's say it's black and red, and then the other team wears red and black. How is it going to say Bubba Celeb game? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so one color is red for Team Lust, the other is white for Team Bubba. They'll have the players' last names on the back and their preferred number. Like we looked up, try to get everybody their numbers that they would like. So that's how the jerseys will be set up, and then we'll have like anybody that's sponsored, did a jersey sponsor, they will have that business's logo on there, and they'll have my logo and Kendra Lust logo as well. So it'd be pretty cool. They look great. We had some good feedback from those jerseys. So
sweet. And of course, now with the Fan Fest, is everybody who's a part of the game currently a part of the Fan Fest? Will everybody be able to come and meet everybody who's currently on each team for the Fan Fest?
So we're gonna have a majority of our people at Fan Fest. Not sure entirely if everybody will be committed to Fan Fest, but again, we're just grateful that they're playing for the good cause, and then as many as we can get out to that Fan Fest, we're gonna. And then of course our VIP holders, VIP ticket holders, if somebody just comes for the game like a player or a coach, we're still gonna have that opportunity to interact with some of them. So we're grateful again for them coming out for this great cause.
And of course, we will be there live. That it's the only time in our podcast history that we're going to release 2 episodes in 1 week, and Bubba's Celeb Game will be episode A, and then Rocky Kramer, who will be our guest the following day, will be episode B. And also what we're going to do is, while we're there live, we're also going to be airing live. We're going to be talking to some of the players. We'll probably bump into Leon. We'll bump into our good friend Painter. We love Vince. He's going to be there. And also one thing, and I told Bubba this, I would love to kind of do like a wrestling promo type thing. Like once you know what the teams are, get with somebody. I can take my phone and record a team of them talking trash to each other, because I think that would just, especially like, let's say, Leon, we just walk up to him and go, "Hey, Leon, can you do a promo?" It's like at that point they have to think off the top of their head right there, hey.
Right.
And that's the way I like wrestling promos to be like anyways, is that anytime anybody's ever handed me a script and was like, "Hey, say this," I was like, "I'm not saying that. Give me bullet points and let me say what I need to say through those bullet points, because it makes it feel more real,
for more natural."
It is more real. It's you being you,
Yeah,
and that's what people love, you being you.
Yeah. That's actually how we started doing their podcast. We used to do a bunch of notes and shit like that.
Yeah,
and we're just like, you know what? Take it, and we just throw it out the fucking window.
Yeah,
we're just like, you know what?
And that's
we're
the
just
thing.
gonna go with it.
Like we have little the no notes, going into these now. Like I pretty much go in and do the whole thing where, I'm kind of like, I bring up different subjects. And speaking of which, was actually something I wanted to bring up, a horrifying experience that I had, about 3 weeks ago. Do you guys know what a Dobson Fly is? Have you guys ever seen a Dobson Fly? Well,
no, I haven't.
It's a bug that's probably about like this big. Like it's probably about like 9 inches long, giant wings, these weird, crazy antennas, and they hang out in like wooded and water areas. I saw someone post something about one on Facebook a few weeks ago, and I do copiers for a living. So I walk out to my truck, and one of these Dobson flies is on the handle latch of my truck. So I'm sitting there and I look up, okay, I knew it was a Dobson fly. I'm like, do they bite? Are they dangerous? Blah, 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 this, that, and another. So it said a Dobson fly is normally pretty docile. However, if you disturb them, they do bite, and the bite lasts for about 45 minutes. Like your arm goes numb for about 45 minutes. And it's
my God.
So yeah. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm faced with the thing of get stuck in Jersey for the rest of my life, or get this thing off the back of the door. So, it's the whole thing.
Get the gun. Babe, go get the gun.
Yeah. It's like, I needed Bubba's Apache helicopter at that time. It's like, just take out the truck, the Dobson Fly, the customer's office, everything, just so I can get out of here and go home.
Just napalm the whole thing.
Yeah, just kill everything. So I started shaking the door. So the customer is looking at me, pull the door, open and close, open and close. So the fly, it falls off onto the lift gate of the truck. So he's upside down and he's kicking his legs. And, part of me, I had a moment of humanity, and I'm like, I don't want this thing to die. Like, it didn't do anything to me. So I go to take my foot to flip him back over, and he had these weird little, when you get a chance, look up a Dobson Fly. He has these weird little antennas.
I'm definitely going to look it up. Definitely.
So he takes his antennas and he flips them around and he flips himself over. At this point, he's mad as shit. Like he flips over and we make eye contact. So we make eye contact and this thing just flies and it just starts flying into me like this. Just hitting me.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. So I'm like swinging it and it flies into the wheel well of a car next to me. So it's in the wheel well. I pull down the door, put up the lift gate, hop in my truck, turn the key, and just drive the fuck out of there. And I'm like, yeah, and it's crazy because a man my size and being around, I'm terrified of this 9-inch bug. But it's just insane. Have you guys ever had any run-ins with anything like that where you're just kind of like, no, absolutely fucking not?
Hey man, thank God you made it out of there. I can tell you that. What about you, Bubba? Bubba, you ever had an experience like that before?
Let's try to think. Nothing with too much crazy of an insect, but some mean dogs or like some crazy individuals when you're bodyguarding.
Right. Bubba has that, but with people. That's the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. Open 2 years. Are you going to drink too?
No, this is the remainder of the one I have left. Anyways, we're starting to run short on time. So, guys, thank you for joining us on the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, Leon, you said earlier where everybody can find you. Bubba, where can everybody find you if they want your security services? And, of course, everything with the Bubba Celeb game, where can they find all that information for the celebrity game coming up in 27 days from now?
Absolutely. So, again, as he just touched on, Saturday, August 28th, Bubba's celebrity basketball game, Snow Hill, Maryland, at the Worcester County Recreation Center. Fan Fest 12 p.m., tip-off 5 p.m. sharp. We will have local, county, state, military leaders, and some of the top celebrities from around the rail coming together to bring awareness and raise proceeds for cancer, bullying prevention, and mental health. Tickets can be got at www.bubbaalmony.com, BUBBAALMONY.com. You can follow me all across social media at Bubba Almony, BUBBAALMONY.
And, of course, we will be back next week. We will be back next Sunday. We will be live at 7 p.m. Our special guest is Howard Bloom. Howard Bloom is an author, and he's also a legendary publicist. He did publicist work for Michael Jackson, Prince, Billy Joel. Wow. You name it, he did stuff like that.
So I'm sure he's got some stories.
Thank you. Credit to Aline Shapiro and World Star PR. They are providing the guests for us. They will actually be providing all of our guests for the month of August and the month of October. So be on the lookout for that. We will be back next week. And for everybody listening at home, thank you for tuning into the Happy Hour podcast. We'll be live again on Facebook Live. And of course, wherever you guys find all of your major podcasts, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up and get out of here. So thank you for tuning into the Happy Hour podcast. We will see you guys next week.